And you're just in time for the latest here in the country and beyond our borders. My name is Abdiaziz Hashim. The sign language interpreter at the bottom end of the screen is Baron Abuli. And we start off at the coastal city, where journalists have been urged to maintain professionalism and unity in discharging their mandate to the audience. Speaking during a grand iftar hosted by the Mombasa Press Club in Mombasa County, the speakers, led by nominated Senator Miraj Abdullahi and Mombasa Press Club Chairman, that is Omar Abdallah, also challenged the journalists to highlight the challenges facing the local community without bias. The grand iftar was aimed at fostering interfaith harmony and unity and celebrating professionalism.
Ukitaka kutembea hatua ya mbali sana, ni lazima mutembee kama kikundi cha watu. Na Press Club ya Mombasa imeweza kunipa moyo na kuonesha kwamba watu wanapokuwa na nia, njia hufunguka.
Tumeweza kuita ile vijana ambaye ni wahalifu, juvenile gangs, vijana wadogo. Tumeona hakuna haja ya kuendelea kufunga hao, haitasaidia. Vijana ambaye pengine wameingia kwa hiyo bila kujijua. So tunaongelesha hao pamoja na wazazi wao, na hiyo program inaendelea, na tuta extend mpaka Kisauni pia.
Defense Cabinet Secretary Soipan Tuyam has slammed a section of politicians and Kenyans on social media, painting a negative image of the government to the outside world. Speaking at the Aldai Nandi County, Tuya called on all Kenyans to instead be patriotic and be at the forefront to jealously guard the country, saying it is the only way rather to attain the desired national unity, integration and development.
We need to jealously guard the peace, stability, and tranquility of our country. All of us, we have to pull together. We must love our country more than anybody else loves Kenya out there. But it is very disheartening that there was a very dedicated move to paint our country black before their majesties came to the country. Kenyans writing and telling the world how unsafe our country is, how bad our country is. What are we getting into? And what are we showing this generation, which is our future? Tukiharibu nchi yetu, where are we taking our children?
And in other news, Head of Public Service Felix Koskei says the government is doing everything possible to restore peace and see an end to banditry and other criminal activities in North Rift in order to open the region for development, which has for decades been left behind. Speaking at Koloa High School in Tiati, Baringo County, Koskei said the government is contemplating putting up a military barracks in the disturbed region to contain the vice. The sentiments came after a chief was shot dead in Loro, Baringo North. He was accompanied by area lawmakers and Principal Secretary Belio Kipsang of Immigration and John Tanui of ICT.
Tutaendelea kukalia hii area mpaka amani idumu na iwe tradition yetu area hii. President ametoa amri, alisema kama mnataka hapa ifanywe army barracks, atatuma askari wote. Alisema Jamalingo atatuma hapa mpaka tujenge even barracks hapa na training ground. Kwa sababu ya nini? Kwa sababu tunataka Tiati iendelee kama sehemu zingine za Kenya hii. Insecurity should not be a hindrance for development, and we are not going to accept Tiati to be behind because of some few elements wanaleta insecurity hapa. Vijana wetu wanakimbia, wanaenda sijui wanaita betting. Ikinyesha kidogo nasikia wanakimbia kidogo, wanatafuta mbuzi 3-4. Alafu sasa ameiba na anasema anaenda kulete. Unalete na sio yako.
The World Federation of Engineering Organization, in partnership with the Institution of Engineers of Kenya, the Engineers Board of Kenya, and the China Association for Science and Technology, has officially launched the Engineering Capacity Building for Africa program in Nairobi County. The event, themed Belt and Road Initiative in Engineering Capacity Building, brought together global leaders to discuss Africa's infrastructural challenges.
For Africa's engineering sector, and by working together, I'm sure we are going to build a future where African engineers lead the way, creating solutions that uplift our communities and economies.
The idea of the program was conceived last year in cognizance of the fact that Africa is at the forefront of the priority agenda of the United Nations and all its agencies. Actually, when I took over as president of WFO, even before that, I realized that when you go to the United Nations, as any of the agencies of the United Nations, they have as on their top priority agenda, Africa.
Engineering-led industrialization, ensuring that Kenya not only produces, but also processes and exports finished goods.
A section of legislators from Kakamega County want Cooperatives Cabinet Secretary Wycliffe Oparanya to be President William Ruto's running mate in the 2027 general elections. Speaking during a ceremony to distribute Uwezo funds in Khwesero, Kakamega County, presided over by Oparanya, the MPs including Christopher Seka of Khwesero, Titus Hamala of Lurambi, Bernard Shinali of Ikholomani, and Fred Ikana Shinyalu, among others, insisted that it is time was ripe for Luya Nation to take up a bigger role in national politics.
Youth, akiwa youth and a lady, anaenda anakopa women fund, tena anaenda kwa group anakopa youth Uwezo fund. Sasa serikali imeamua hizi funds nyingi ziwekwe pamoja.
Wycliffe Oparanya is there courtesy of going through the window. We must now put our acts together, our numbers together, and negotiate properly in 2027.
Mheshimiwa Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya, tunakutoa hapa tukuweke kiwango ya kitaifa, mahali wanagawa chochote cha Western, wewe kaa hapo. 2027 wewe uwe candidate wetu pale naibu wa rais kusimamia watu wa Kenya kama deputy president.
Siku ya leo tuko na Khwesero declaration. Tunasema ya kwamba nyota yetu ya kupeleka mbele ni Wycliffe Ambetsa.
And away from politics, microfinance institutions should customize some of their products for those marginalized and left out of traditional financial services. Association of Microfinancial Institutions chairperson, that is Caroline Karanja, says while access to basic financial services has improved, many underserved groups still face significant barriers in accessing financial services. Karanja is challenging microfinance institutions to shift from a one-size-fits-all approach to more personalized and inclusive offerings.
So it is actually, that is the same way we would just encourage our institutions to develop products and services that serve the marginalized. We are also even going towards even the refugees, because we are also trying to see how we can include them. We are also working with persons with disability. So we have partnered with the various institutions just to make sure that everybody is financially included.
Very happy that it will be hosted by Kenya country, because Kenya is really a powerful place where the inclusive financial system has been so innovative and developed. It can be inspirational for other countries, and in the same time I think that gathering all those experiences from other countries, African countries in particular, can also nourish and feed the Kenyan partners as well.
Human rights organization led by the coalition of grassroots human rights defenders have called on the government to protect and promote the rights of all citizens. The defenders, who held a walk in Gatangi, Kaliani, Machakos County under the Human Rights for All, called for the protection and an end to indiscrimination of those who fight for human rights. The march brought together activists, community members and local leaders in the county.
During the march, the human rights defenders expressed their concerns on the rising cases of femicide, with several cases of gender-based violence remaining unresolved.
Ingekuwa inaensure perpetrators cases ina move haraka kotini, polisi wafanye investigation venye nafaa, na pia kama ni survivor of femicide weze kuprotectiwa. Ilali kitu tunaona ni opposite. Cases zinarudi nyuma, tuoni way forward.
Wameleta policies mingi ambazo zinakandamiza chakula ya Eastern region. Kama ndengu, unasikia ndengu kuna policy imewekwa. Kila kitu chakula yetu inakandamizwa. Kwa hivyo tuna march for our foods, for our seeds, for our lives.
They stressed the need for the government to recognize their critical role in advocating for justice and equality. The walk concluded with a celebration of the rich cultural heritage of the Kamba community, showcasing their traditional foods and cooking methods. Elsewhere, the Civil Society Reference Group Kenya has urged the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission to embrace digital voting, which they termed as more transparent, verifiable and resource efficient. The group officials were speaking during their annual General Assembly, where they also elected their new leadership, a process that was conducted in 7 counties. Martini Maslin for Lunchtime News.
It is 11 minutes past the hour. We need to take a short breather, but when we come back, we'll be telling you what is happening in Naivasha, especially when it comes to the Safari Rally. So don't go too far.
Tangu lini mwerevu akajinyoa mwenyewe?
Najibwaga uringoni na maswali mengi kinywani.
Je, mtandao huu usipodhibitiwa pasi na kuwa na mipaka utawafanya vijana wetu kuwa na utumwa?
Sisi ambao ni vijana wa huku Kenya tunaiga tabia ama tamaduni za nchi za kigeni.
Kupitia kwa mtandao huu, vijana wana uhuru wa kukashifu uongozi mbaya.
Je, wakidhibiti hii mtandao alafu janga lingine litokee, wanafunzi watasomaje?
Mtajie visiwa viwili unavyovijua katika bara la Afrika.
Siwa cha Zanzibar.
Makofi jamani.
Two cultures.
Mimi ni Mkale, Mkikuyu.
Two religions.
Wanaenda msikiti ama wanaenda church?
Wanaenda kanisa.
Lakini
mimi
nikienda
One heart, one soul.
Tulipatana kama yeye ni msupa. Unajua kitu mzuri kipita lazima uangalie.
Who makes the best dishes?
Nisema tu watamvuta tu pole wane kama anaweza delata kweni Mkristo.
Wewe una plan to convert?
Hapana.
Kabisa?
Huyu? Bibi mpoa sana.
Gifted me a precious gift that I treasure till today.
Na akaichukua.
Wanaosema tutawachana, sidanganyi watangoja sana. Yetu si ya Konde Boy na Kajala.
The race for the cherished FIFA World Cup 2026 slot is heating up.
Olunga, the captain, he plays the right ball inside. Good first touch. They change the lines as Aubameyang gets in behind here. A great opportunity for Aubameyang, and it's off the post.
Lined up on match day 6, Group F is Kenya against Gabon on Sunday, 23rd March at 4 p.m. from Nyayo National Stadium.
Pumped back into the air, and the keeper's come a long way off his line, and he's missed it. And that's the opener for Kenya.
With the new sheriff in town, don't miss this historic Africa qualifier duel, live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now, a section of Babasi constituency in Kisii County have vowed to support the broad-based government following the nomination of Stephen Isaboke for the post of Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Information, Communication and Digital Economy. The residents say that the region, which had been perceived to be sidelined in government appointments, will now benefit from government policies and initiatives.
Tulikuwa tunampiga mawe kama chensi kutoka hapa Kisii. Naona kama mimi amenisimamisha, nimeingia mlengo wa nani? Wa Ruto. Sasa ile maneno nilikuwa natupa mawe kusimama kwa matanga kupiga Ruto, kupinga serikali ya Ruto. Sasa nataka kuambia Excellence William Samuel Ruto, mimi niko nyuma yako kwa ile kazi umefanya hapa kwetu nyumbani.
We are very happy to be incorporated in the broad-based government. Now, as Abagusi, we now ask the Kisii people to fully support the president, and we are behind him for achieving his wishes for the people of Kenya.
And now to the Mount Kenya region. Residents of Meru County, in collaboration with the Kenya Forest Service KFS officers, marked World Forest Day by planting over 132,000 tree seedlings to promote environmental conservation. Speaking during the event, Eastern Region Forest Conservator Monica Ndiragu reaffirmed Kenya Forest Service commitment to achieving the presidential directive of planting 15 billion trees by the year 2032. She highlighted that the Meru Forest Station has expanded its modern tree nursery to produce over 2 million seedlings a season, ensuring a steady supply of reforestation efforts.
Tumeweza pia kusupport Ontulili Forest Station. Tunawa expandia nursery yao, tunawatengenezea borehole wawe na maji ya kutosha, ili hiyo nursery pia iweze kuzalisha miche zaidi ya milioni 2. All the other nurseries za Kenya Forest Service zenye tuko nazo, kila nursery iko na target not less than 1 million to produce.
Target yetu Meru ni 4 million, and we have about 5 million plantable seedling. So kabla mwezi wa 4 uishe tutakuwa tumepanda over 4 million, but we want to exceed kwa sababu ile target ya county tuko nayo. In the next rain, ile ingine ya December ikija, tunataka hapo to double. Masaba tulikubaliana in our meeting KFS, we do another 6 million so that we can do 10.
And on a sad note, police have recovered the body of a middle-aged man who drowned while swimming in River Tana after a day of search. According to police officer, that is Richard Kimani, who is a Juakali artisan in Garissa, was taking shade at the banks of the river in the company of an identified friend before the incident happened. Garissa Township Sub-County Police Commander Samuel Boit says the search was conducted by a team comprising of the Kenya Red Cross, local divers and the police.
We have some experienced divers from the Madoko area. They searched and they were able to retrieve the body, which is believed to have gotten stuck beneath the bed of the river. And the body was retrieved at around 1600 hours, which is around 24 hours.
Team of Law, a flower farm located in Timau, Meru County, has pledged to support the Ngusushi community in establishing a technical and vocational education and training TVET center in the area. This initiative comes after the community agreed to release a 10-acre plot of land within the farm's 240-acre estate, enabling Team of Law to find an alternative site for the TVET center.
Hapo nitaweka some money ya kujenga TVET na also other income, other sources from the Tima and all farms around. Nitawafuata unyo kwa unyo, tukao tumeshikana chief na sub chief na the community development committee
If you look at the amount of monies we are paying in terms of salaries and the payment to the communities and the stakeholders, it's quite significant in this community. Together with that, we are engaged in a corporate social responsibility where we have sunk boreholes, supported schools in terms of construction of classrooms, in terms of feeding programs, and we feel part and parcel of this community.
Moving forward, we will have to receive information from the Ministry of Education. They are the ones which have the default function about TVETs and use of land for educational purposes.
Elsewhere, at least 600 youth from Gatundu South constituency have graduated with technical skills including driving, plumbing, hairdressing, among others, courtesy of the National Government Constituency Development Fund (NGCDF). The program, which aims to enhance the employability of youths in Gatundu South, is now set to increase its intake with the allocation of 10 million shillings to boost from the NGCDF kitty. Area Member of Parliament Gabriel Kangombe is now urging the beneficiaries to take advantage of other state funds, including Wezo Fund, Youth Fund, as well as the Hustler Fund, to start, grow or expand their ventures. Some of the beneficiaries of the program express confidence that the skills acquired will open up opportunities for their livelihoods.
Hii life hauwezi toboa bila skill. Lazima ikuwe kuna kitu moja unaweza kufanya yenye watu wengine hawawezi kufanya, ndio wasa kupatie do wakulipe ukifanya hiyo job. Ndio maana ule msee mwenye ni plumber anakuja kwako, anakutengenezea mfereji na maji, unamkanja. Si ni hivyo? Leo tuna graduate watu wa catering, hairdressing, beauty, plumbing, electrical works, automotive na computers. Hizo ni skills kibao zenye ziko na hawa sasa, zenye nyinyi mko nazo na zitawasaidia. Juu pia mse wa automotive anaita plumber na mkanja, mse wa plumber na yeye anaita mse wa automotive na mkanja.
Nimesaidika kwa hii masomo ya mheshimiwa wetu, na nashukuru kwa hiyo nafasi alinipea. Nasema kwa hii masomo nimesaidika kwangu personal, na kaa kuna watu wengine wanarika wako hapo nje wakuja wajiandikishe katika hii nafasi yenye mheshimiwa amepeana.
And now let me update you what is happening in Naivasha, especially when it comes to the WRC. Now, the 2025 Safari Rally Kenya is living up to its expectations, especially with numerous stage challenges the numerous drivers continue to encounter. The words of Cabinet Secretary for Sports Salim Vuria, who met a few drivers in Naivasha this afternoon after the opening session of Saturday, the second last day of Safari Rally Kenya.
Kenya is the rally capital of Africa, and even though 2026 is coming, we are ready to go on, and therefore as government and all the partners, we will pitch tent, to make sure that we go on, because you will not find this combination, these exciting sites, this exciting diversity in any other part of Africa. And the environment here, the enabling environment for the rally here is spectacular. So as Kenya government, we are ready to push on and to make sure that we continue hosting WRC and also inviting more private sector participation, so that going forward we have more of the private sector participating. And as already directed by His Excellency the President, as government, we are now going to put in resources to make sure that motorsport becomes a talent we nurture in the TVETs and also other institutions that we will continue to nurture and inculcate this talent.
Still in Naivasha, over 200 children have benefited from Safaricom's medical camp held today in Naivasha as the WRC Safari Rally Kenya entered day 3. The camp was held as a way of giving back to the community for the value Safaricom has received from the WRC being their technology partner for the 2025 event.
This is our 5th year for Safaricom within WRC, and this year we are coming in really big. We are the technology partner of the WRC. So what does that mean? We are providing what we call cell on wheels. These are the portable broadcasting masts that improve the connectivity across the rally stage. So that's all the way from Naivasha all the way till Nakuru town. If you see the kind of value that we receive from WRC. In terms of viewership, we have over 150 million viewers of the rally across the world. It's streamed to over 80 countries across the world. So we get an opportunity to showcase the diverse beauty of Kenya in itself, our talent within the driving space, and as well as all the opportunities that we can showcase Kenya as being a destination where we can provide the right kind of investment and growth within the country. Next year, we are hoping that we will provide the same kind of connectivity and partnerships with the WRC, with the community, and everyone within the ecosystem, just to ensure that we run a successful WRC 2026. In terms of Safaricom, we are a big believer of talent development across all different types of sports. We've spent over $1 billion plus in ensuring that we provide the right resources for sports within the industry. And now WRC is one of those sports that we want to also showcase that we are providing the right talent and resources and development within this industry.
Now, caution is what most drivers have taken into the final 2 days of the 2025 WRC Safari Rally Kenya, after most of them had to drive through car problems to end the second day on Friday. And for example, we witnessed that some of the warrior stages had a little bit of issues, especially with punctures, as Barclay told us yesterday. Have a look.
Just got an update on that. 27.7 kilometres is where there is really...
There you go.
Okay, Tanak is now making his way to the... That one.
That one right there.
The last loop has been really tough. Camp Moran was not rallying, honestly, but the aim was to get through Friday clean. Remember I told you? So we managed to do that. We didn't set the world alight with our times, but at least we got here clean.
We're going to try now to get some extra points for the Sunday, because today we had to retire for suspension broken after a flat tire. So it's frustrating really for us. Definitely not our weekend. So let's finish on the high on Sunday.
I think the colour of me explains them. It was an interesting first stage this afternoon. Basically, there was a hole formed in the car at the rear from the spare wheel coming loose. It broke through the carbon fibre, and then the dust started to come. We originally thought it was a fire because there's a lot of heat from the exhaust now that it was exposed. So we stopped twice to check, and it was okay. And then at the end of the stage, we seen what happened. We tried to cover it, but then realised maybe it was better to just leave it and go with the goggles for the remaining of the loop. And we did one stage in road mode to prevent the exhaust getting too warm. So it's been a proper safari afternoon.
Let's come back here to the capital, where Athletics Kenya AK can now proceed with its election after the Court of Appeal overturned a High Court ruling that had directed AK officials and the Executive Committee to vacate their offices. The successful appeal by Athletics Kenya has now paved the way for the elections to go ahead. In their ruling, Justices Pauline Nyamwea, Agre Muchelule and George Odunga emphasized that the petitioners had not requested the orders that will prohibit Executive Committee members from seeking public office at the High Court. As a result, the officials and members of the Executive Committee were not given an opportunity to respond. The judges also stated that the High Court's ruling contravened the 2013 Sports Act. Athletics Kenya has welcomed the Court of Appeal's decision and expressed its readiness to create a clear roadmap for the elections which had been delayed due to the ongoing legal case. The case, filed nearly 9 years ago by the retired athlete Moses Tanui and other individuals, sought to have the AK officials declared illegally in office.
I was ready for elections anytime, because also if you want to continue doing well, you seek legitimacy from the public, especially elective post. You must be subjected to that, so that whatever you do, you have the support from the public. Nobody wants to stay there forever, knowing that you have not been given the legitimacy through the ballot. So I allow the process to continue, so that the same people also will have an opportunity to exercise their right. Anybody who wants to be elected subjects themselves to that according with the laws of the Federation. We cannot just talk outside, and yet we have a constitution. So we allow the process to continue. Those who will be elected will continue doing the job they have been given. Those who will not have been elected will support those who have already been elected.
And quickly before I go, KBC is showing the WRC Safari Rally 2025 live coverage, given that we are truly your sporting partner. We witnessed early in the morning at 9:30 to 10:30. It was the Elementaita. At exactly 4 to 5 p.m. it will be the Elementaita 2. And then tomorrow, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. it will be Hell's Gate 1. And finally, 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. it will be Hell's Gate 2. And then the podium finish. We wish all the drivers all the best, and share your moments in Naivasha in Nakuru County on our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1 and at Abdiaziz Hashim 2. That is all we had for you this afternoon. My name is Abdiaziz Hashim, the sign language interpreter. At the bottom of the screen is Baringo. Enjoy your view.
China's annual political season brings together the country's lawmakers and political advisors to chart the way forward for the nation.
It captures global attention as geopolitical and economic tensions rise.
So what impact will this have on Africa?
We take an in-depth look at China's secession and explore what lies ahead for Africa.
Join us for a special program on CGTN and the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation.
The rains have come, and for those living along the riverbanks, it is not just the devastation of displacement they are worried about.
Where they stayed for 26 years getting everything well, now it's no longer there.
It's the lack of sanitation and the impact on their health.
So diarrhea ikakuja, watu wakaanza kutapika na kuhara.
Kama unavyoona condition ya sili says hakuna drainage, uchafu ni mwingi, hakuna hata maji yakinyesha, hakuna mahali maji yanaweza tokea.
We develop what we call contingency plans. These contingency plans have measures in which we put in place to ensure that just before the disasters arise and also during the disasters, we are able to handle them.
This week we focus on the impact of heavy rains on our health.
I think your dad is making a grave mistake by keeping Alex around.
You actually do care for him as if you're his own biological son.
Umefikisha wapi maneno?
Umza anataka mita.
Ongea na hao watu.
Jabari anataka pesa za kuinvest.
Kama ngapi hivi?
Imagine tu ni mita moja tu.
Unaona kama naenda kwa miti na chuna pesa hivyo. Ukienda utarudi baadaye.
Narudi kufanya nini? Tuko na bogi, watakusort.
Nimetumwa na Maxine, amesema nikusalimie.
hizo salamu kwa redio. Wewe ndio utakuwa mwisho wa huyu mzee wangu huyu.
Unajua mimi natamani Mama Jabali angacha tu mtu abaki nayo wazimu yake.
Hatuna evidence ya kuonyesha ati yeye ndiye